Hello my students. I think many of you ask yourself whether there is a graphical user interface for such powerful and multifunctional platform like Metasploit. Of course, there is GUI and even more. Through internet browser you can connect to Metasploit and do the same actions which you did in console. But this feature is available in the paid version. There is another choice which is called Armitage. And we are going to talk about this software in the next following videos. Armitage is installed on many color distributions, and for the quick access, its icon is placed on the side panel of desktop. Let's launch the program. And the following dialog window appears. Do not change anything and just click on Connect. Then we have another dialog window from which we can run Metasploit. And here just click on Yes. After that, Metasploit and all other components will be launched. And that is how Armitage looks. Interface is very simple and user-friendly. It consists of 3 panes. In the first pane on the left side there are well-known modules: Auxiliary, Exploit, Payload and Post. Their structure looks the same like in Metasploit. If we click on any module, we will see expanded list of available scripts. You can also use a search option to find the appropriate script. For example, we are interested in a script which contains telnet word. Just type telnet and the following matched scripts are depicted in the pane. On the right pane we can see tested objects. From here we can control all the hacked devices. And finally, the third pane is used as console terminal. It is the same console which we used during the whole course. All Metasploit operations are displayed here. Besides, we can enter commands to control the whole process of hacking. If you don't like black and white interface of both panes, you can entirely change it. To do this, go to Armitage menu and select Preferences. Here we can change color, font, hotkeys and other settings. For example, let's change background from black to gray and the color of printed text from white to blue. To do this, find console component with the names foreground and background. This component is responsible for color settings. Double-click and in the open dialog window change the color. Now let's find console background. Change to gray. We can also change text font. Just find console font. And change the settings. Click on Save to save changed settings. Now to apply changes, restart the program. After restart, console pane will look like this. The same we can do for the second pane. In this case, just find graph component. Okay, we configured interface, and before we start hacking, let's create a database, a workspace which we reviewed in the beginning of course. Database is necessary for your convenience, if you are going to test different networks and you don't want to mix results of testing. To manage database, use the Workspace menu option. Now let's create our database. Go to Workspace and select Manage. Click on Add button to create a new database. Type the name, IP addresses of tested devices or the whole range. It is important to enter IP addresses. They are used as a display filter. If you don't point them, the tested objects from database will be always displayed in the graphical pane, regardless of switched database. Now we need to add a new host we are going to test. There are two ways how to add them: manually and import from a file. Armitage supports several file formats including Nmap and OpenVAS. First, let's add one host manually. Go to Hosts and select Add Host option. Type IP address. If necessary, you can manually set operating system for newly added host. But it is not necessary to do, because we are going to scan and fingerprint the system, and Armitage will automatically choose type of operating system. We have several more hosts. Let's import them from a text file. The file looks like this. To import data, go to Hosts and select Import Host option. We did preparatory work. Now our program is ready to perform scanning. We have configured our program and added all the objects we are going to test. Now let's perform testing of given objects to discover open ports, and also we will try to detect running operating systems. To discover open ports, we have a built-in Nmap scanner, and also we can use Metasploit scripts from auxiliary module. First of all, let's use integrated Nmap scanner. In the graph pane, select required object you are going to scan. Now go to Hosts. Select Nmap Scan option. Here we have several ways for scanning. Let's select the first one, Intense Scanning. In the console pane, you can follow the progress of all actions. If you scroll up, you will see the command which was used by Armitage. Now have a patience and wait for the end of scanning. Scanning is complete, and you can see that the program automatically detected type of operating system. Besides, during scanning, Nmap also launched some scripts. You can read results in console pane. To make sure that provided information is true, you can perform scanning with Metasploit scripts. To do this, just select required hosts. And then go to Hosts and select MSF Scans. After scanning is complete, all results will be stored in the database. To view results, select required host. Then click right mouse button to open a context menu. And select Services. The list of all detected ports and services will be displayed in the console pane. Having discovered all available ports and services, you will probably want to find out whether they have some vulnerability. For example, on a given computer, I want to check if it's vulnerable to the network attack MS17-010, which was used in well-known WannaCry ransomware campaign in 2017. Select Computer. Then, in the search bar, type keyword with the MS17. And we have displayed all the scripts related to given keyword. Select a given script in auxiliary module. Double-click to open settings of given script. Here we can see its description. You can also change some parameters. As you can see, IP address of remote host is already set because in the beginning we selected the host. Now run the script. The progress is displayed in console. According to the results, the host is vulnerable. That way you can check other services on the rest of remote hosts. I would also recommend using special scanners such as Nmap, OpenVAS, Nessus, or Nexpose. We have detected type of operating system, discovered open ports and vulnerability on remote hosts. Now we can start with exploitation. After we discovered all available services, we can start with the hacking. Working with the console, we had to search and run many exploits manually. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of time. However, in Armitage, this process was simplified. The program will create a list of appropriate exploits on the base of detected ports and services, and now we are going to review it. After scanning is complete, there will be available new option Find Attacks in the menu Attacks. Given option will automatically select appropriate exploits on the base of discovered operating system and running services. Let's select the hosts. Then apply above mentioned option. When the searching process is complete, you will see the following dialog window. Now select any computer in the graph pane. Click right mouse button to open context menu. And as you can see, there is a new option Attacks with a list of exploits. It doesn't mean that the system is vulnerable to each of these exploits. Some of them most probably will not work. It's just a recommendation because otherwise we had to look for exploits manually. You have two options. You can launch exploit and check whether it works. Or you can just scan the remote system to check if it's vulnerable or not. In this case, exploit works in scanning mode and it doesn't try to harm remote system. Some exploits have this option. For example, let's select Oracle. There is only one exploit. At the bottom there is a Check Exploits option. Given option scans an object. Let's launch it. Look at the console and commands entered by Armitage. And as we can see, remote service is not vulnerable. To make sure that it's true, we can run exploit to try to hack the system. All basic parameters are already configured. To see advanced parameters, just check Show Advanced Options. Now run exploit. And result is negative. Select another computer and choose the following option. If you wish, you can choose bind or reverse connection. Run exploit. And exploit works successfully. Look at the graph pane. The hacked computer switched to red and now looks like this. In some situations, you already know what kind of vulnerability is on remote host. So you just manually find the appropriate exploit. For example, you know that remote host is running vulnerable icecast program. In the search bar, enter the name of program. And required exploit is displayed. Double-click to set options. Basic options and payload are already configured. All we need to do is to click button. If you don't know which exploit to use and you don't have time to try all exploits from recommended list, you can use a special option which can perform everything for you. Just go to Attacks menu and select Hail Mary, our special option. Click on Yes to start the process. Given option generates huge amount of suspected traffic. so it is not applicable for stealth hacking. We have reviewed server-type exploitation. As you can see, the process of hacking with Armitage is simplified. In the previous video, we considered Armitage capabilities to perform server-side exploitation. In this video, we are going to practice client-side exploitation. As example, I'm going to generate a macro for Microsoft Word software. Select Tested Object, then, in search bar of module pane, type keyword macro. Select Appropriate Exploit. Here, all the options are already set, but some of them we can change. As the custom template, we can use any Microsoft Word document. Malicious code will be embedded into this document. For L port, we can set desired port, for example 5000. As the payload, we already use Metasploit. Now launch it. As always, the result is stored in our well-known folder. Let's copy a given file to the folder for web server. Now we need to start a listener. Go to Armitage menu and select Listeners. Then Reverse. Set appropriate port, in our case 5000, and use Metasploit. Now we are ready for inbound connection. On the victim's machine, download and start infected document. On Kali, we can see that exploitation was successful. But that's not all what Armitage can do. In the course we used the MSF Venom to generate executable file. We had to open separate console terminal to run MSF Venom. In Armitage, this procedure is simplified. Let's generate malicious Metasploit code and embed it to legitimate software. Expand Payload module and select desired script. As always, all the options are already set. However, we are going to modify a couple of parameters. In Template field, we can set legitimate software. Keep Template Working option is used to keep functionality of legitimate software after malicious code is embedded. In this case, set value to 1. Now, in Output field, set type of output file and click on Launch. Here, we must choose directory where the file must be saved. So, the file is generated. Now, launch a listener. Let's move to the victim's computer. Download and start the file. As you can see, legitimate software is normally running. Go back to Kali. And we have Metasploit session. In this lesson, we have learned that Armitage can be also useful for client-side exploitation. Besides, in the graph pane, we can see which machine was successfully compromised. After we gained access to the remote systems, we need to perform post-exploitation actions. For example, privilege escalation, password extraction, backdoor creation, getting important files from remote hosts, and so on. I established Meterpreter session with remote host. Let's select a given host in graph pane and open context menu. There is a new option in menu, Meterpreter. Let's consider what functions are available for us. In Access, we can do the following: escalate privileges, steal token for privilege escalation, extract passwords and hashes, install backdoor. First of all, let's escalate our privileges in the system, and then we will consider other functions. Select this option, and after that, the list of exploits will be displayed in the left pane. With these exploits, we can escalate our privileges. Let's select Given exploit. All basic options are already set. Pay attention on the option Disable Payload Handler. By default, its value is true. That means a listener will not be launched automatically when exploit is started, so we will have to manually start listeners separately. That is why we change its value to false. And then, in Targets field, choose appropriate system architecture. Now run exploit. And we have Meterpreter session, but with different access rights. If we again open context menu of given host, we will see the second Meterpreter session. Now, with escalated privileges, we can dump user passwords or hashes. There are three methods available for us. The first two dump hashes. Let's try the first one. And here you can see the hashes of local accounts in the system. Now let's try the third one to get clear text passwords. And here are our passwords. For persistent access, we need to install a backdoor which will automatically connect to our computer. Just select Persist option. And in the Open dialog window, set all necessary parameters. Delay parameter sets time interval between connection attempts. With the exe custom option, we can use our own backdoor. By default, Meterpreter reverse TCP is used as a payload. You can change it if you wish. In the path field, we can set directory or folder where the backdoor will be installed on the remote system. By default, it is temp folder. Now run the script. Restart victim's computer. And as you can see, our backdoor successfully connected to our computer, and we have a new Meterpreter session. A listener was started automatically, but if it fails, you can always start listener manually. Just go to Armitage menu and select Listeners option. In spite of the fact that Armitage contains a lot of useful features, sometimes we may need to interact with the remote system to perform some specific tasks. To do this, there is the Interact menu option with a Meterpreter, Shell, and VNC. In Explore menu item, we have functions to work with the file system on remote machine. We can browse the files, upload our files, and create new folders. Besides, we can manage process, install keylogger, make a screenshot, and also we can run any post-exploitation module. Armitage is a feature-packed and easy-in-use software, especially when you need to test many systems at the same time. I think lovers of GUI will like it.